So we roughly know the tally already. When was this agreement? When did this go into effect? When did this begin? What's the date?
There's a date. I don't have that. There is a date that it was signed. I don't have that memorized.
And do we know? I guess can someone help me understand why we're voting on it now, and we didn't vote on it prior to any of this 17,000 plus work being done? Why are we voting on it now, and why didn't we vote on it prior to this?
We entered into the agreement. We can do that with my signature, and then once it approaches the $25,000 mark, it needs to come to the Board of Education for consideration.
Okay, but we don't even know what the effective date is.
I don't have it memorized.
Guess,
I can get it.
A month? Like which month did it even start?
June, I believe.
Okay, then that's July 25th. Okay, well that didn't take long. And then I'm gonna also agree with the whole, if we're talking about keeping politics out of this, I would be very curious to know why my Republican voting record was a topic of discussion after the last meeting at GCSD taxpayer expense. I think that's a gross misuse of GCSD taxpayer funds. I am happy for anyone to take a look at my voting record, but I don't think the GCSD taxpayers should be paying an attorney to be pulling up my voting record. I think that's all the questions I have for right now.
All right, well, actually, we're going to go ahead and move with the vote.
Can I just have one more word, please?
No, ma'am. We're going to go ahead and move with the vote.
You can't really.
Just have one more word, please. I'd like to kindly ask if I just get one more word in, if that's okay. It's not a question. It's just a comment.
I have one comment.
Thank you. So, I will say I don't have 13 years and I don't have 14 years. I have a year and a half. I'm going to have the same amount of time as Casey. And I will say there have genuinely been moments in my year and a half where I think there is some value to having access to an attorney other than the one that represents the district. I think that there are so many questions that are left for me that I can't in good faith represent our constituents and voting in this. But I do see, I could see the potential for value in it.
Just my final comment before we hold the vote. There's been times where we were told we were represented by Brackett and Ellis. When times got tough, we were then told we were not represented by Brackett and Ellis, and they represented GCISD. That leaves me hanging. If I'm going to run the school district and help Dr. Ryan run a business, we need to have proper. Excuse me, no comments from the audience. If we're going to run a business, we have to have legal guidance. It is not uncommon in the business world to have 3, 4, 5 sets of attorneys. In my job, I talk with 5 or 6 sets of attorneys on a daily basis to get different thoughts of opinions, different schools of thought, because just one law firm has all the right answers. The world doesn't work that way. It's just not uncommon. And we have a budget item for legal. This isn't uncommon. We've had some years where we've spent, I would say, $300,000, $400,000 in legal fees, and other years we've spent $120,000 in legal fees. It's the way the world works. Excuse me, no comments. You're violating the quorum. That's just the way the world works, and you may not like it. People who've been on this board, they've had the opportunity before to go get outside counsel to help direct the board, and they chose not to, and that's okay. That's their choice. But this is my choice to go out and get outside counsel and help guide this board and help us make good decisions that are going to guide this district. So all those in favor?
I have one more question.
No, we're moving forward.
I have one more question. I have one more question, Mr. President.
No,
there is no reason.
The chair does not recognize you.
There is
all
no
those in
reason
favor
to stop this discussion.
Of passing the item, raise your hands. I got 4. All those against? 3. Motion passes 4-3.